A Search in Vedic India, Chapter 13 Thoughts. After lunch, Albert and Vimala went to the banks of the river Godavari and sat separately to practice what Swami said in the morning. Albert tried to get infinite space into the mind while keeping attention on eye awareness. To his dismay, he was disturbed from that awareness with the thoughts one after another and lost in them. In between, he remembered his mission and tried to retain attention on eye awareness. He continued despite the interference of thoughts. He noticed that thoughts were arising without any effort from his side. He could extend for 20 minutes with difficulty. He remembered all the discussions he had with Swami so far. What all that exists is only infinite awareness, and as such it cannot be known as an object and should be only recognized in one's awareness. The awareness which seems limited to the body is infinite as it has no form. Though this is understood intellectually, it is not being recognized experientially. As an effort in that direction, Swami said one should feel the infinite space in awareness until it becomes a natural feeling without effort. He made a beginning in that direction, but he is being disturbed by a continuous flow of thoughts. What should one do with them? How to prevent them? His problem remained there. After half an hour, he discussed with Vimala to know her experience. She also faced the same problem. While coming back to the guest house, they discussed what Swami said. Since they did not mean that they should practice only in a sitting meditation pose, closing eyes, they decided to focus on eye awareness at all times. Though they noticed that there is comfort in doing with closed eyes, they discovered that they need not do that way only. That night and the next day, they continued the practice of putting attention on eye awareness, though the problem of thoughts persisted. For exchanging between themselves, they coined the word jnana dhyana for the exercise they are doing, though the process does not fall in the definition of what they understood as a meditation. Since there was no other work, they were spending more time in meditation. Vimala noticed that Albert was able to be in meditation for more duration than herself. Both of them saw that whenever they could hold to the attention eye awareness for more duration, they were enjoying an inexplicable peace thereafter. Albert had a wonderful experience once. While he was about to close the session with closed eyes, a big eye came into his vision and looked at him for a while. He was astonished at its clarity, though his eyes were closed and he was sure it was not a dream. He had no clue about its significance. While exchanging their experiences after the session, he noted that Vimala did not mention any such experience to him. He thought he would wait for some more time. He decided to mention it to her only if it happened again. They continued the sessions, though the problem of interfering thoughts persisted. They decided to discuss the same with Swami for a solution. The next day, they met Swami and settled down after prostrating to him. "Have you made any attempt? What was the result?" asked Swami. Albert explained what had happened. "I tried to hold my attention to the eye awareness, but the flow of my thoughts interfered with my attention," said Albert. "Whenever I was disturbed, once I realized I was disturbed by thoughts, I continued with the attention. Though the intensity has reduced after a while, still the thoughts continued to disturb me. Please let us know how we can control the flow of these thoughts," asked Vimala. "You have to analyze the thoughts to decide on your approach. Everybody puts the most important thoughts into action. After all, the basis for any action by anybody is a thought. If one is very particular about becoming famous and earning a good name, he immediately puts those thoughts into action that is likely to improve his image in the public. Similarly, if one is interested in making money, thoughts about that matter are implemented immediately. If such people think of God, it would only be to fulfill their ambition. Even when they think of God, thoughts tend to disturb them. To prevent those thoughts, they indulge in acts of worship such as bhajans or similar forms of such activity. All these actions are to please God, and even if the thoughts take a break during that period, there would not be many benefits, explained Swami. That means various kinds of worships like prayers, bhajans, recitation of Lord's names, etc., are meant only to prevent thoughts, asked Vimala. Otherwise, what are they for? When you enter a temple and stand in front of a deity, you would try to concentrate on the form of the deity to prevent other thoughts. Similarly, all other kinds of worship you have described are also an effort in that direction. Have you observed the difference between your effort and their worship? They are all doing those actions believing that the so called God is somewhere away from them. But what you are doing is jnana meditation. In yoga parlance, meditation implies three aspects: a meditator, the meditated, and the process of keeping attention on the meditated object. In jnana or the eye awareness meditation, subject and object are the same. You attempt to recognize yourself, which is not away from you. But the only difference is that you are not recognizing that your eye awareness is expansive and infinite. Your attempt is to recognize that. Since your main ambition is not to earn name, fame, or to make money, you are not disturbed by thoughts relating to such ambitions. But still, you are disturbed by thoughts during your attempts to meditate. Since you are living amidst worldly transactions, thoughts relating to your education, job, or family tend to disturb you. Now your quest is to prevent those thoughts, is it not? Asked Swami. Yes, Swami. When we try to keep our attention on the eye awareness, thoughts interrupt the flow of attention, said Vimala. Okay, let me tell you an important thing. You should not make any attempt to stop the thoughts. Instead, once you are aware of the thought after it breaks, you should continue your attention toward awareness, ignoring the interference. Over a period, thoughts reduce and you would spend more time in attention. There is a way to minimize the flow of thoughts. During meditation, if a thought arises about an important work that you have to perform, then you cannot continue. For example, you have forgotten to keep the milk packet in the refrigerator. The moment you remember, it prompts you to take action. You would stop the meditation and attend to it. You cannot do anything if such thoughts arise. But some thoughts do not prompt immediate action. What kind of thoughts? Asked Vimala. When your attention is on pure awareness, you have no thoughts. If you observe, you would notice that most of the thoughts that arise relate either to your past or to the future. Past is like a dream, and the future is like deep sleep. And it is futile to waste time on both, said Swami. Why is the past not important, Swami? We learn valuable lessons from the mistakes of our past, remarked Albert. Past mistakes become part of your psyche and come to your aid when the occasion arises. Thinking about them continuously is not helpful. Similarly, thoughts regarding the future are futile too. If you have planned a journey but you have not made the reservation yet, and if you remember that while you are meditating, you immediately get up and do it. Thoughts that do not prompt immediate action are horizontal gibberish that do not serve any purpose. If you are conscious of the present moment, they do not bother you. If you make a mental note to drop the past like a dream and also an uncertain future, thoughts relating to them will not disturb you. You just remember these points. I am not suggesting any action. This knowledge itself would help you. If you are not thinking of the past or the future, You are in the attention of I awareness. The gap between the two thoughts is Brahman. Albert remembered Eckhart Tolle's teaching that one should try to always be in the present moment. Swami too is telling that the present moment is Brahman. He mentioned the same to Swami. Truth is recognized by different people through different approaches. Since we follow a particular approach, we may make use of such information if it aligns with our approach. Otherwise, ignore it, said Swami with a smile. Now, let us come to the task in front of us. Swami continued, you have been accustomed to identifying your body with I awareness. Now you have to investigate and observe your awareness to get the feeling that it is never linked to the body. It is not a big action. It is just a close observation of your awareness without getting diverted by the thoughts. Even if there are thoughts, you simply have to ignore them. Here, sadhana is not an action. It is just observing your awareness to get rid of the wrong notion that your I awareness is linked to the body and recognize that it is always pure awareness and nothing but pure awareness. When you continue that observation for some time, the feeling that it is not linked to the body would be firmly established, making you free. You will recognize the truth that you are nothing but pure awareness without any limitation. When that happens, you may feel, oh, it is so simple, yet so clear. Why have I failed to recognize this all these years? Such recognition is not a thought. It is a recognition of your awareness. That is why you should not be paying attention to the I awareness as a thought, but just as a natural, intuitive feeling. It cannot be described more in words, explained Swami in detail. Krishna Garu came and informed that some visitors had come to see Swami. Okay, we will continue tomorrow, said Swami, getting up.